Hi everybody. Okay, so I just want to hop on here real quick and talk about two particular topics that have been in the news lately, and they're centered around breastfeeding. First, it was the mother with her 3 or 4 year old son on the cover of Time magazine, and she was breastfeeding him. So there was this whole thing about, is the baby too old to still be breastfed, and why would you pose on the cover like that with your 4 year old, 3 or 4 year old son? And then recently I saw on the internet that it was a provocative picture of two women, military women, who were nursing their children with their uniforms on. And this is my whole stance on this. As a breastfeeding mother, I breastfed all three of my sons for well over 12 months. I didn't give them formula. They just had strict breast milk and food. And I nursed in public. I nursed in church. Um, Not in a sanctuary, but if I had to go into the multi-purpose room, I would breastfeed there. Breastfeeding in the bathroom is disgusting. Would you eat your food in the bathroom? Would you take a sandwich and go eat in the bathroom? Absolutely not. Of course you wouldn't. And why would I want to nurse my baby in the bathroom? It's a breeding ground for germs. There's urine in there, people coughing and taking dumps. And are you serious? Sanitary napkins, and some people don't wash their hands, so I'm supposed to go in the bathroom and nurse my baby? Are you kidding me? Find you something else to do. I'm sorry, I had to rant a little bit there. Granted, there are ways to conceal breastfeeding, but even if I take a receiving blanket just to place it over me, you can't even tell I'm breastfeeding, which is fine. But some women don't want to do that. If I just lift my shirt up and you can't see the baby nursing, and my shirt is kind of covering his breasts, and the only way you can tell I'm breastfeeding is if you're looking too hard, find you something else to do. Because I don't understand why people have a problem with it. We're supposed to breastfeed. Our children aren't supposed to have formula, and that's just my stance on it. Say how you feel, whatever. Okay. This is just my opinion. That's what the breasts are for. That's what the mammary glands are for, to nurse the babies, to give them healthy milk. Now, with that being said, once they get to a certain age, let me take it back a little bit. I've nursed in I've breastfed in restaurants before, where I just had to lift my shirt up. I never really pull it down because I don't want to mess up my clothes, so I'll lift it up, or I have my receiving blanket. But I've never gotten stares, and I never gotten asked to leave from breastfeeding, or like leave my area or whatnot for breastfeeding, because I do it discreetly. I do think there's a time and place for everything, and if you do have to stop and nurse your baby, do it discreetly out of respect for other people. That's just common courtesy. I'm not saying stop what you're doing, go to the bathroom and nurse your kid. No, you can nurse wherever you are, but be respectful in your environment. With that being said, use a receiving blanket. If you don't want to use a receiving blanket, just lift your shirt up and kind of conceal what the baby's doing. Okay, you don't have to pull your titty out and be like, "Hey, we're breastfeeding." But then, if the baby's nursing, technically the woman's breast isn't out, because the breast is when you see the actual glands, the full breast, and the areola and the nipples. That's a breast to me. But you're not seeing a breast. You're not even seeing the dark part of the nipple, because it's in the baby's mouth. So what are you complaining about? I saw her boob. No, you didn't. You saw cleavage. And it's no different from when you see some women on the beach with their boobs hanging out of their bathing suit. It's no different from that. So people who think that it's disgusting to see people breastfeeding, find you something else to do. That's the word of the day. Find you something else to do, or complain about. Moving on to the two controversial photos. The woman with the two women who are military women who are nursing their children. What's she supposed to do? Take your uniform off. You know what? Wait, baby. Don't move. I'll be right back to feed you. As soon as I come out this uniform. No, that's not okay. And I actually think the picture was meant to be was meant to be with the uniform on. I don't think she was just out casually breastfeeding her baby. I think the two women that did do that photo intentionally wore their uniforms to breastfeed in them. But so what? And she's not doing porn in it. She's nursing an infant. I don't understand what the problem is. Please tell me please, someone put below, what's the problem with breastfeeding? Let me know. Or breastfeeding in public, because I don't understand. Why does it matter what you're wearing? Now moving on to the Time magazine lady. Now, for me, I think 3 or 4 years old is a little lengthy to be still nursing from your breast. If you still want to give your son breast milk, that's fine. Give it to him in a cup. At 4 months old, your child should be on a sippy cup with water. At a year old, 18 months, they should be drinking out of a regular cup. So at 4 years old, he should not be sucking from your nipple or from your breast. And I think that's a problem with that. Now, I don't have a problem with you still wanting to give him breast milk, but I do have a problem. Well, not a problem, but I disagree with still nursing a 4-year-old child from your breast. That's weird to me. And I wonder if, I'm not saying that this is what it is, but I wonder if the woman is getting a sexual. Well, I know you're getting I know your nipples are getting stimulated when you breastfeed, because when you breastfeed, your nipples get hard, and you have a letdown, and letdown is when all the milk starts to flow out, and it stimulates you. It's similar to when you're having a sexual encounter and your partner's playing with your nipples and you get turned on by it. That's the same feeling you get when you breastfeed. Now, for me, I had to separate the two. I told my husband, don't touch. He couldn't touch my breast for a year and a half. I'm so serious, because every time he touched them, it made me think of the baby. I said, no, I got to breastfeed the baby. And my breast would start to leak if he were to touch them. So I'm like, no, I had to separate breastfeeding and being in my sex life with fondling of my breasts. Okay, just speaking candidly. And I wonder if that's what the thing is. They call it parent attachment or attachment parenting, but no. If your child is still sucking from your breast at 3 or 4 years old, there's something wrong with that. I don't agree with it. You are getting stimulated by it. You can't say that your nipples are not getting stimulated. Not saying that you're calling them a pedophile or a child molester. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that you're receiving some type of satisfaction physically with your body with a 3 or 4-year-old child still nursing from your breast. And I don't think that's okay. I think that's odd. And if your whole thing is, I still want to give him breast milk, okay, you can hand express your milk or still breast pump your milk and give it to him. He doesn't have to take it directly from your breast. You see what I'm saying? That's weird. It's not okay. So yeah, that's my whole stance on it. I mean, I'm not going to judge that woman, and it doesn't make, okay, and I want to, she's saying that it brings us closer together. You're fine. Children grow up all the time and live normal, healthy lives. My son has been obnoxious again. I'm finna sock him. No, I'm not gonna sock him. But can y'all hear that? I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, that's just my thing is that's the only problem I see with breastfeeding past a certain age. If your whole thing is you just want to get them the milk and the nutrients, okay, just give it to them in a cup. Okay, they drink everything else in a cup. They drink juice, water out of a cup. They eat off a plate. They use utensils. Why are they still sucking from your breast? That's the question I want to know. And yeah, so that was my 2-3 cents on breastfeeding. And so let me go tend to these kids, y'all. Bye.